Do you love Joe Burrow or do you love Joe Burrow?
I love Joe Burrow. Joe's my favorite young quarterback. Dan, I'll be honest with you, man. So obviously call college football for ESPN. And the year that LSU 2019 won the national championship, I had called a couple of Clemson games that year. And I've loved Trevor Lawrence really since that freshman season at Clemson. Called a couple of Clemson games that year, and then going into the national title, I was Trevor Lawrence. I was just like, I think the kid's absolutely spectacular, and I thought Joe was really good and Heisman winner, all that stuff. But then I did the mega cast for that game for ESPN, and we were on the field. It was me and McAfee, and it was just a free for all. But I remember during that game and then after that game, walking away going, "That's the guy." About Joe Burrow, I was like, that he has that rare, just super rare ability that he mentally wants to he takes pleasure in taking your soul on a football field. Like he wants to humiliate you while also his pulse just never seems to rise at all. And I think it's one of those things or the thing that NFL teams just chase after for quarterbacks, but it's so hard to kind of touch and quantify. And I said this last year, there was no young quarterback that I would have taken outside of Joe Burrow besides Deshaun Watson in that moment. And then I sit here today, there's not a young quarterback that I would take over Joe Burrow. Under the age of 25, give me Joe Burrow.
Even Justin Herbert.
Yeah. And I love Justin. I think Justin's fantastic. He's going to win MVP of the league at some point.
What do they do? Like what's Burrow do better than Justin Herbert?
I think Joe, number one, has the ability to never panic. We call him poise, whatever. He just never panics with the football. And I see a great majority of that with Herbert, but not in the way that I see it with Joe. I think Joe can make more throws that require a little bit more touch, a little bit more love on them. Justin's arm is so powerful and so strong. Now, Justin can do things that Joe can't as well with the arm strength and the athleticism. I think because of just the ability to never panic with the football is my favorite quality of Joe.
Yeah, you start to look at these quarterbacks, and I think it's easy to forget about Joe Burrow because he was playing for the Bengals. Like that, that's a cute little story. Then he got injured. Then coming into this season, AFC North was packed, top heavy, it felt like, and then there was going to be the Bengals. And then you look up and you go, Bengals won the division, and they're in the playoffs. But I also wondered bigger picture here. Are we being fair to the job that Joe Burrow did, that it feels like it's a foregone conclusion? It's Aaron Rodgers MVP, and then Tom Brady second. Yeah. Maybe it's Joe Burrow or Jonathan Taylor. Has anybody been more, have Rodgers and Brady been more valuable to their team than Joe Burrow?
I don't think you could say that they've been exceedingly more valuable, but I do think that the fact that the Green Bay Packers were 13-3 with Aaron, obviously 13-4 after this past weekend, and the 1 seed when, and this is why I think that Matt LaFleur is the coach of the year. And with respect with the job that Mike Vrabel has done and a guy like Nick Sirianni and Zach Taylor, the offseason has to factor into the equation when you're talking about Aaron Rodgers in regards to the MVP. This team lost their starting tight end midway through the season. They played games with Aaron Jones. They didn't have their all-pro left tackle. They lost their basically best offensive lineman outside of Bakhtiari and Elkton Jenkins. The reality of that, Alan Lazard missed games. So the fact that Aaron Rodgers played at the level that he did and never hurt his football team in regards to kind of his impact on that team and being the 1 seed, given everything that transpired, that's why Aaron's the MVP for me. I agree. Joe's been spectacular. If it wasn't for 2 Hall of Famers, Joe's probably in that top conversation, but I don't think you could put him past Aaron and Tom.